All right, guys. Hello to everyone, and welcome to this short masterclass provided by HTL International School to all of you. So, my name is Polina. I'm one of the teachers of HTL International School, and I will be gladly with you today to quickly explain about how to understand your customers and how to make sure that we are noticing the correct pattern in their behavior. We will discuss why people would choose to buy something, what may be the motivations behind it, and what you need to know and what you need to use to be able to sell yourself. Either we are speaking about selling a product, selling a service, or just introducing yourself as a potential interest for your future customers. Okay, let's get to it. So, the topic of today's masterclass is understanding customer behavior. Who are our customers? Let's start with this definition. Our customers are the people who are ready to buy our product or our service. It's important to distinguish between a customer and a consumer. A customer, someone who is buying your product. A consumer is someone who is using your product or service, whatever it is that you are selling. Sometimes a customer and a consumer may be the same person. I'm buying a chocolate cupcake for myself and I'm eating it. I am a customer, I'm a consumer. Sometimes the customer and the consumer will be different. Like if I'm buying a chocolate cupcake for my child. In this case, I am the customer because I'm paying money, and my child will be a consumer. Sometimes you need to speak only to your customer in case if you are selling pet products or products for babies. You cannot actually speak to those who would end up using them. Well, you can, but they will not understand you or they will not have enough authority to make a final decision. Sometimes you need to speak to both, to the customer and to the consumer, whether it's a one person or whether they are different people, just if you know that your consumers have enough power to actually make the purchasing decision. Today, we are speaking about customers, about those who are paying money for a product or a service, whether for themselves or for someone else close to them. And today's topic is more towards the B2C businesses, so business to customer. It can work for business to business as well, but in business to business world, there are a little bit of more complications. So, yes, marketing is a business function primarily, but it is also an exercise in applied human psychology. You need not only to know your product well, but also to be able to understand the psychology of your customers. What do they need? What value do they look for? And you need to be able to provide this value to them. whether it's an actual physical value, an actual benefit that they can get from your product, or whether it's an emotional value, like an emotional benefit, like feeling of saving the world, for example. So you need to be able to understand how people think, how they process, and how they make the choices within their environment. We can say that people are online for two main reasons. First one would be to save time. Happens when they actually need a product or a service. It's much faster to search for something online than to go browsing through different offline stores. At the end of the day, people may still buy offline. There are some services that cannot be purchased and provided online, and there are some products that require the final offline meeting. But they will be searching and making the first decision online. They are here to save time. They want to find the answer to their questions. They want to find the solution to their problem quickly. That is why you need to be able to understand their problem, to understand their need, and to be out there for them. This is your problem. This is my solution. Here I am. On the other hand, when people are not searching for anything, they are online mostly to waste time. You know it for sure. You've been there yourself. The doom scrolling, the non-stop screen time at 2 a.m. in the morning when you just have nothing better to do. And in this case, knowing that people are online wasting their time, you as a brand or an influencer also need to be in line to be able to grab their attention. We are not yet selling anything. We are just there to say, hey, here I am. I exist. I know what I'm doing. Please pay some attention to me. So, whether your potential customers, whether your people are out there to save time or to waste time, you need to be there to come up with the best possible solution for them. It is very important to remember, especially if we're speaking about the wasting time situation, that the attention span of an average human being is reducing. It is quite difficult to keep the attention for a long period of time. And as you can see right now, the average attention span of a human being is less than of a goldfish. Of course, this is the average timing, and you're more than welcome to say that you are different and you can pay attention for much longer. Well, I hope so, because this masterclass will not be for 8 seconds only. But still, you need to remember with everything that you are doing online that you have first 5 to 8 seconds to grab someone's attention, to make sure that people are listening, that people are watching, that people are paying attention to you overall. The other interesting concept that we need to pay our attention to when we start speaking about the customer behavior is the customer or consumer rationality. Yes, I'm using the word consumer here, not customer, and I'm doing this intentionally because, as I said, in some cases, your customer will be your consumer. And when the customer and the consumer are different people, then the decisions are usually made much more rationally. When you are buying something for a loved one, when you are buying something for your future customer, you mostly more rational as a human being in this case. You pay much more attention to the quality, to the features, to the benefits that the product or service can give to your loved one or your final customer. You also pay more attention to potential risks. So, yes, customers, when they are not consumers, are overall more rational. Consumers, on the other hand, when they are customer, they are sometimes less rational. I'm sure that you at least once bought something not because you genuinely needed it or not because this product was much better than anything else on the market. You just felt like buying something. You felt that you wanted something. Yes, as a consumers, we are irrational. Sometimes we are making decisions that has nothing to do with the analysis and the decision making. The problem here is that if we do not consider that our consumers are rational, there is nothing to do for us on the market. It is impossible to sell something to a person when we genuinely believe that people are not thinking rationally when they are buying something. When we genuinely believe that there is nothing we can do to influence our customer, of course, we cannot sell anything. So we need to lie to ourselves a little bit and we need to believe that there is such thing as consumer rationality, that people are always make purchasing decisions rationally, that they always choose the product or the service that will benefit them most of all, and only knowing this or having assumed this, we have the possibility to go on and promote ourselves. Because assuming this, we can speak why we are good or why we are better than everyone else on the market or anything else. But yes, obviously, not every purchase is done rationally. And actually, according to Brian Eisenberg, I'm sorry if I mispronounce his surname, there are around 20 forces, 20 different forces that can push people into buying different things. And that's what we will discuss right now. You will pay attention, and some of the forces would feel more rational to you. Some of the forces would feel less rational, but knowing them, you can actually find the way to influence your consumer and, most importantly, your customer. So, here are first 10 forces that can push people into purchasing the product. The first and the most important one is the basic needs. Remember the Maslow hierarchy of needs. Remember this basic level. We need food, we need water, we need shelter, we need something to keep us warm. Those are the things that people would buy 100%. Well, if they have money, of course. If they can afford food, they will buy food. If they can afford water, they would buy water. When they need to pay for their electricity bill or their heating bill, they will do it because it's basic needs. So if you decide to go and sell something basic, you are in a great position. What you can do with this is find a basic need that people have and find an alternative solution to saving it. So let's speak about water. We all need drink water to survive. And a lot of companies are selling their bottled water. But some companies went a little bit further and they are delivering the water right to your door. So it's still solving a basic need, but it is also falling into the second force a little bit convenience. People may buy something or they may choose one product over the other because it is more convenient. Here comes all the deliveries, here comes all the online shopping, here comes all the uh, takeout if we speak about food. It's more convenient to get the pizza delivered to your door than to go to a grocery store, buy all the ingredients, and cook a pizza yourself. If it's convenient, we will go for it. The third force is a replacement. I have something, it works. I need this thing for my studies, for my job, for my life. And then at one point, it stops working and I need to replace it. So I go and I buy something similar, something with the same functions, with the same benefits, maybe a little bit better. So if I need something new, if I need something to replace a thing that I've been using for a long time, this is the other force that will push me to buy something. So the first three forces are why we make day-to-day purchases. The other 17 are why we can choose one product or service over the other. And the majority of the products that we will be purchasing based on those 17 forces are not falling into a basic need category. Some of them will in some cases, but the majority will not. So the one force that can push us to choose a product or to purchase something that we were not planning on, it's the scarcity. Limited edition. Only 100 of them in the city. Only 1,000 of them in the world. Specific discount that is available only this week. Only one chance to get something. If you don't do this right now, you will lose it. And a lot of people will buy a product or a service because it's a limited edition or because this is only available now chance, even though they don't need the product at all. The next one would be the force of prestige or an inspirational purchase. Something that makes you feel better about yourself. Something that shows to you that you are a better human or that you can become a better human. all the self help literature falls into the inspirational purchase. Or if I'm going to paint a new beautiful painting and I'm going to buy new brushes or a new paint, this is also an inspirational purchase. The other very important force is an emotional vacuum. We want to feel something. We are very sad. Something bad happened in our life. So we are going and purchasing a product to feel something else, to feel a little bit of joy. The force number seven, which can be connected to one of the first three forces, lower prices. Sometimes people would choose a product just because it's cheaper than anything else. Not always because they want to save money or because they do not have money, but just we see two similar products, one is cheaper, so we go for it. The next force is when the product is not cheaper per se, but it has a great value for the price. So you're looking at it and you're thinking, wow, it's really not expensive for that quality, or it's really not expensive for those benefits that I will get out of it. So, of course, I will buy it right now. Sometimes people will purchase only because they recognize your name. When they need a particular product, they would mostly choose the name they've heard of. That is why all the billboards, all the online advertisement, TV advertisement is working because you make people hear your name. You make people remember your name. And when they would need a product, they would go for you just because they recognize you. And when we recognize a name, we feel more confident about purchasing it. The tenth force, before we move to the second part, is the fad or innovation, mostly working with the world of electronics. Why are people queuing up for the newest iPhone? Because it has some innovation in it. Why people are ready to spend a lot of money on the virtual reality glasses? Because it's the newest technology. We do want to be on the edge of technological development. We would buy something that would be technologically advanced compared to its predecessors or compared to its competitors. Moving on to the next 10 forces. They are less about the product itself and more about the things we feel towards a product. Well, force number 11 is compulsory purchase. When you don't want it, but someone makes you buy it. We can speak about school uniform. We can speak about a particular manual that your teacher is telling you to purchase. We can speak about the masks that all of us had to purchase during the pandemic times. So anything that our government, our boss, our school teacher, or even our parents are telling us to buy, it's a compulsory purchase. And with a compulsory purchase, we don't have a lot of room for choosing. So, if my mother tells me to go and buy a cleaning product of a particular company, I would not be comparing it to anything else and choosing the better one. I would go and buy what I'm told to. If the school uniform is made by a particular designer or is sold in a particular shop, people would go and buy it from this shop, from that designer, even though the shop next door has a better quality. When it's a compulsory purchase, we follow the rules. Force number 12 may be similar to the inspirational purchase. This is the ego stroking. But in this case, the product is not making us feel better about ourselves. The product shows everyone around us who we are. Let's speak about luxury watches. Let's speak about the tailored suits. Let's speak about expensive shoes or expensive handbags. We are buying them to show to everyone else that we can afford them or that we belong to a particular group. So sometimes the ego stroking is really connected with the next force, which is niche identity. You may want to buy something because it makes you belong to a group. So the niche is not obligatory a small one, but it is definitely well defined one. I am buying the cruelty free shampoo to belong to the category of people who are caring a lot about the environment, as an example. The next force is a peer pressure, similar to compulsory purchase, even though in this case, no one is telling you explicitly to go and buy something. With a peer pressure, we are buying something because our community is using the same product, because all of our friends have the same product, because everyone in our team have the same product, and we feel like we need one to belong. So whenever you see the advertisement telling you that everyone in the particular location already have it, the advertisement is playing into the peer pressure. The next very interesting one is the Girl Scout cookie effect. I don't know if in your country you have the Girl Scouts that are going door to door and selling the cookies, but I'm sure that at least once you felt the feeling of doing something good for someone else when purchasing something. If you buy those shoes, we will plant a tree for you. If you buy this drink, you will help us to clean the oceans from plastic. All of this is playing into the Girl Scout cookie effect. You buy something that you would genuinely enjoy, and on the top of it, you enjoy the feeling of doing something good for someone else. The next force is reciprocity or guilt. When someone else is doing something for you, for example, my colleague has brought me a box of chocolate. She's usually not a gift horse person, but she brought me chocolates. So I feel that I need to buy something for her. If not, I will feel guilty. The next one is the empathy. Similar to the Girl Scout cookie effect, we are feeling better for ourselves when we're purchasing the product. But in this case, we are buying something not because we need a product, but because we feel something for the person who is selling it. Hello, everyone. I'm a single mother. I need to feed my children, so I'm making this handmade bracelet. Please buy one. This is the empathy purchase. We want to help this single mother. We want to help her feed her children, and we purchase something. The next two forces are quite negative. People will buy something because of addiction, and people will buy something because of a fear. The addiction may be different. It's not obligatory the alcohol or drug addiction. I definitely do not want any one of you to sell some substances to addicted people because it would be illegal. Let's not go there. The addiction may be also to some feelings that you receive. So we may have people who are addicted to working out. We may have people who are addicted to sugar, and we can be selling them the products that would support their addiction. Once they decide to heal from this, they would forget about us and they would try to forget about the brand all alone because we will remind them about the period when they were addicted. The same thing with fear. People may buy something because they are afraid for their safety, so they are purchasing the self defense product. Afraid of missing out, so they are purchasing something to stay on top. Afraid of falling ill, so they are purchasing the vitamins or masks or hand sanitizers. And yes, fear is one of the most powerful emotional motivators. If you can scare your customers for them to believe that without your product they are doomed, they will definitely buy from you. Problem, you create negative associations and they will not want to come back to you because you are closely connected with their fear. The final force that would make people want to purchase something is indulgence. We all deserve something good at one point because we worked hard, because we studied hard, because we did a great job, or because we are great people as it is. So we deserve this product even if it's a little bit of a luxury. This is indulgence. So, as you could see, you can actually understand why people would purchase a particular product or a particular service. You can find what force is pushing them to do so, and you can create your advertisement to play into this force.